Hi everyone and welcome. In today's pick a card reading, we're going to take a look at how the upcoming eclipse taking place in the sign of Taurus on the 30th of April 2022 is likely to influence our lives. Now, first of all, like any eclipse, this is a really special moment because this, even without the astrology, even the ancients, even those cultures who didn't necessarily have astrology as part of their spirituality, knew without a shadow of a doubt that at the moment of an eclipse, may that be lunar or solar, a powerful change is imminent to happen, collectively and of course individually as well. And because the veil between the worlds was and is especially thin at an eclipse, it is a moment when basically reality itself, energetically, karmically, and informationally, if that makes sense, resets itself. So the sphere of influence of any eclipse is around a month before. That is almost like a setup period, of course not for everyone, and 6 months after. But of course it can be at any given moment during that 6 months period, and it really depends on our personal setup as well. But usually the collective expressions of the energy, especially after 2022, when the Great Conjunction took place in the age of Aquarius, it's almost like everything is a little bit speedy, hasted up. So I might be guessing that maybe this eclipse is gonna enter or show up in our lives very quickly, also because this eclipse goes hand in hand with Uranus conjunction and sextiled by Mars, two of the quickest planets and astrological influences out there, so this can be very quick. And at the same time, Taurus is everything that has to do with nature, everything that has to do with Venus, our worth, our value, in a very earthly sense. And this is already telling me that, especially collectively, this is like an economic reset, which leads to an upgrade, of course, something new, something meant to last for a very long time, and something ultimately positive and nurturing, Taurus. But individually, it can be absolutely anything, because Taurus can be a big love, Taurus can be our self worth, Taurus can be physical body, money, basically monetization, everything that we can attribute to value and love expressed physically. So this is why in our personal lives it also highly depends on us. And yes, it is a reset in any way, shape and form, yet perhaps this eclipse personally can hold a very positive potential because of that Mars there. Mars sextiles it from Pisces, which does mean that in a certain way, however this eclipse manifests in our lives, because for some people a reset, it can mean immediate scarcity before regeneration, or maybe it is the scarcity which delivers the person to their own truth, that they don't need as much. Freedom also means not having weight on you, so not 10 layers of clothes, having minimalistic setup, including physically, so shedding weight and everything that you don't need. So for a lot of people, this eclipse can be very life changing. Now enough about the eclipse and the astrology of it, because I have a special recording for that which you can check out. First, let's take a look at today's pick a card, and we have four magical charms, let's say. We have an amethyst pendant. We have a key. A key is, of course, always symbolic to unlocking things. We have a magic bell. And we have a glass pendulum. So just focus a couple of seconds on these four items and choose the one which speaks to your intuitive senses the most. Of course, you can pause and take as long as you need, and after which we will find the interpretation of the symbol chosen by you in the continuation of this video. I have not shown you the decks which are going to correspond to each of these charms for a specific reason. this eclipse is important, so let's just work the intuition. Let's not be influenced by the colors of the decks, and maybe a lot of viewers actually know the decks immediately. So let's just focus on these very random items for a second, and then we'll get immediately to the interpretation of the first piles of the Amethyst and the deck of cards which corresponds to it. So I'll just take the rest of the charms away. So this is for everyone who has chosen the Amethyst pile. And the deck I have chosen for you, maybe because it kind of matches the color, is called Yoga Tarot. And it has a lot to do with the symbolism of Taurus, because yoga is ultimately discovering our most authentic and natural modus vivendi in any way, shape and form. Through exercise and of course through all of that, but the purpose is very Taurian. The purpose is purity, simplicity, good health, good mind, so it's really, really important. So let's see what the eclipse or better said, how the eclipse might unfold in your lives. Oh, we already have some cards here. So we have Justice reversed, we have the Hermit, and we have the Knight of Swords. The Tower reversed. I just better show you. This is how the Tower looks like in this tarot deck. Oh, it's reversed. And let's just choose a couple of clarifiers. Five of Wands reversed. Oh, it's reversed, so like this for you. Well, actually, I'm gonna keep all of them. So this is the Seven of Cups reversed. This is the Nine of Cups reversed. And the Ace of Wands. Well, this eclipse is going to be pretty intense for you guys, because the core card here is that which speaks to me a great deal, the Justice reversed. This means that this actually means something really, really serious and heavy, because it goes all the way back to the very beginning of this incarnation for you guys. So basically, maybe not the moment of birth and not the very first years of your lives, but ever since, you came online as a consciousness. So childhood, whenever you kind of started developing yourself and having interaction with the world and actually contemplating and philosophizing, living also within yourself. That was a period when everything was upside down. So basically everything that you shouldn't have been, were not, should not happen to you. So it was almost like living in a mirror reality where everything was upside down. Nothing, you were a brilliant at something. Maybe it's something artistic, maybe it's poetry, maybe something that you could do with your intellect, like creativity, writing, speech, communication. You really, really had a lot of energy that you brought here in this incarnation with you, as in you came fully packed. with talents and knowledge and skills and so very many different things. This is how you were born. And it was almost like every single setup in your life, social setup, familiar setup, school setup, everything, it was like it just didn't allow, reversed. So it didn't allow you to basically be who it is that you are. It just blocked you, it just stopped you. It was almost like the whole it felt like a massive, massive, massive injustice. Everywhere you went, everything that you touched was unjust. It was the opposite of balanced. And of course, this took a very heavy toll on your mind. So the Knight of Swords, your mental sphere's expression. Because basically the mental element in its integrity has very male and masculine energies for everyone. So the mind is a very, very masculine element. That is why the King of Swords usually represents the wholeness of the mind. So it even distorted your very understanding of yourself. And the Hermit reversed it. Basically, the way I see this and I feel this is like your social sphere from country to society, social nuance, where you were in society, which town, which city, neighbors and everything was a huge mismatch. It was like, as I said, living in a mirror world where everything reflected the opposite that you were. And this Hermit reverse, it was almost like being trapped, living in a prison psychologically in every way, shape or form. Yet, however, this is where the Justice reversed also represented that was basically how you truly tapped into your inner world, your fantasy, your imagination, and that is how you developed a certain sixth sense, which in any other way you would not have reached the level of mastery it has today, because this was reached through this impossible to bear burden that basically everything that you do is not reflective of who you are in your heart of hearts, in your core of cores, when society and everything around you kind of stops you, blocks you. It is like a brick concrete wall and you cannot stop it. But this is where the Tower reversed. Already, maybe in the year 2021, you already... And the reason why I chose this deck of cards, look, the Tower, it doesn't depict the doom and gloom, it just depicts the mountain. The great, great efforts that one needs to invest in order to reach the top of the mountain, which can also kill you because the top of the mountain is not safe. And then one has to get down as well. But the Tower, you've done this. So the peak was reached in 2021, maybe in November or in the winter, or for some people January 2022. But after then, the Tower is already reversed. The doom and the way your life always used to be is simply not the same anymore. You are different, everything is different. And justice right now is truly reversed in the sense that things are starting to make sense. Everything that you feel and live right now is a bit different. You would not say that reality functions 100% the way you always felt that it should be natural, but it's no longer Kansas, as in it's no longer the same reality that you left. It is very, very different, and by now you know where everything is leading you. The Tower is reversed, so that means when gravity reverses, you don't fall anymore, you just float freely, freedom. It means that right now, even though in this very second You cannot rebuild your life, because this Knight of Swords also means that you had a massive breakdown at one time, so very bad that maybe the material parts of your life have fallen apart as well. So you are actually right now, you're just getting used to things being a little bit different, but each and every day it's a little bit and a little bit, and the bigger picture is adding up, that you're really not in the same circumstances and living the same life that you always used to. And this is what is very strange. All of these cards are reversed. So the Nine of Cups, wish fulfillment, the Seven of Cups, your dreams, Five of Wands, your inner battle and your battle with life. This is where that right now you see the Nine of Cups. It is a kind of wish fulfillment where, maybe the core wish is you to be able to just be yourself and the whole of reality to be permissive of that. And this Nine of Cups is reversed because you're in between that period when this comes into reality, but your wish is of such nature that it cannot be like this. It is not one moment, it is a process, and you're already there, and things feel very different. You feel totally lost. But the Seven of Cups, in your dreams, you feel totally lost in a very, very tranquil space, which is almost this state of being where you're lost but you're okay with it, and you're so full of hope, but you have absolutely no reason, but neither do you have any doom and gloom anymore. You're simply like, after someone went through a massive operation, you're just lucky, happy and lucky to be alive, and you're just going with the process. Five of Wands, you're not fighting, you surrendered. And that surrender of yours, whenever it took place, 2021 or 2022, well, that surrender moment actually moved you so very much, physically as well, as in you got a lot of things done. And if this justice reverse represents that you need something for your physical life, but that which is legal, as in a document, an ID, a trial, a legal case, something from an authority, a help, a contract, for example, work, a financial situation, that is also coming, but not in the way you hope. So this is where you see both the Seven of Cups is reversed and the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups cannot come into reality, so to speak, without the correct dream, may that be good or bad, as in useful or just a silly illusion. The universe doesn't care. But the dream needs to be, crystal clear. And you even lost your dream. You lost everything, but as I say, this is not a bad loss. This is where it was dissolved. This was where you just surrendered it. So right now, the Ace of Wands, prepare yourself, because the universe is gonna give you that which you can't even expect. It said that because you did the job, because you tolerated maybe 30 years for some people injustice, like not only living in injustice, but no longer allowing to bother you, and the injustice itself not forcing you to be a bad person, to be a bitter, toxic, defensive person. It actually forced you to be the opposite. And this is where you triumphed already, but you have no idea. And the Hermit reverse. You've been isolated alone in hermit mode maybe for 4 years or more, and you at certain points you didn't understand how you can exist like this and why because you're neither ugly, neither stupid, there's absolutely nothing, you're actually a totally charming and beautiful person. You are so full of magic. But when I say magic, it is that charismatic magic, the personality, not magic in what I'm doing right now. So the isolation will end because that part of who you were in the past had to die. So that means that most of your past connections went with it. And yes, this is the classic case where you lose people, but the universe replaces them. Yes, absolutely true. But this is where it's not gonna be like 10 people, maybe it's just one person, but in that person you have everything that you could ever ask for. And finally, I'm gonna do this for every single pile. This is a special deck called Astro Tarot, and for every pile I'm gonna just extract one card to see the final. Well, it didn't go too well, did it? To see the final, let's say, energy, because this can only tell us the energy of the eclipse for you. So this is so symbolic. As I said, king of your own reality. Things already shifted. When you were a slave, because look at this king, his clothes are not that much royal. He went through a lot. He worked to become king. He suffered. He did the unthinkable. This person became king because he was the only person in the country, or let's say, who did something which no one could do. Out of sheer bravery and faith. That's you. This is why you're gonna become king. Of course, right now it's total confusion and you might be laughing at me. How dare I say something that positive, and I'm feeding you with toxic false hope. But your life is gonna change profoundly and radically. So thank you so much, those who have chosen the Amethyst, and I'm wishing you a truly blessed eclipse. Until next time, bye for now. Now let's take a look at what the eclipse has planned for everyone who has chosen the key. For you guys, I am going to choose a special tarot deck called Gaia Tarot, and this is very Taurian. We already have a card, because in this one I'm not going to use reversed. We already have a card, and this is very Taurian because this deck is so very beautiful and natural, and I got it from a Taurus, from my best Taurus friend, and it was really delightful when she got it for me, because I really wanted this for 10 years, and she just got it for me like that, and I'm so very grateful. And let's just see a final clarifier. Okay, well, this didn't help that much, to be honest. Okay, now it did. Yeah. So, you guys have the Ace of Earth, which would be the Ace of Coins, but look, this is why I've chosen this deck. This speaks that which the simple Ace of Coins cannot. The Two of Fire, Two of Wands, the Awakening, which is the Judgment, and this was the Seven of Water, which is the Seven of Cups, and it clarified with Child of Water, the Page of Cups, the Moon, and the Three of Fire, which is the Three of Wands. Now, it's pretty clear you guys really need a new beginning. Now, whatever happened pre this Ace of Earth, Ace of Coins, doesn't matter as much, because this is where pre this, everyone who's chosen the key symbol had some kind of hardship, and there was a time, so pre Ace of Earth, and what I'm saying pre-Ace of Earth, well, this is where we kind of started getting into the Taurus energy. So I would say this Ace of Earth is began for you guys at around the start of March, let's say. So the month of March was when this energy was beginning, because the aces represent one. It is both the ending and the beginning. So what happened pre-March 2022 for you guys? Well, this is where everyone had something. For some people, this ace was a prison, as in their material lives just couldn't give them enough freedom. For other people, maybe they had obligations to their families, to their children, their parents, as in they themselves are parents or they're parents of their own. So everyone had some kind of limitations and problems, and life felt like a prison. While for other people it was the opposite. Life collapsed and you lost house and you almost became homeless. So one of the two. So this was where your material life and your material and for others still, this can be an illness, but a really vengeful one, which you really almost barely survived. So for everyone, this earth, ace of earth, represents when that which it was the old is just a memory and things become anew. Like things really, truly, literally renew. And you can also see this already, as I said, in your physical body. Skin or hair or something is physically, visibly renewing about you, and that is really, really a wonderful promise. And other people do receive certain signs from the universe. Some people are synchronized, so to speak, as in sent synchronicities to the point of ridiculousness, with flowers of like either reddish color or yellow or multicolored or violet color or sunflower. The universe keeps just bombarding them with images of flowers, because that is very symbolic. Where there's a flower, there will be some kind of fruit or seed. And then the two of fire. Now, this ace of fire means that you already began this rejuvenation process. And the eclipse is going to, because always the awakening is a very powerful, as in the judgment card, it does represent Pluto in astrology, but in tarot it does represent a moment when our minds are eclipsed, as in we make the right judgment or we see things the right way for the first time in our lives. So this is where this already began, but it just adds up, it grows and it becomes stronger and viable as you head towards the end of 2022. This ace of earth, which is the regeneration, rejuvenation and harmonization of your material life. And as I said, a lot of people need that new beginning. For some people, that new beginning is not literally them stepping into something new, but the project, the date of something, the contract, or selling this, buying that, that has to complete itself in physical reality, because everything else is already done. While for others still, this is where they have everything they need for that project, for what they want to do, apply for a new job or have that new beginning. They just need to align with the circumstances, basically. So 50% is you and your initiative, and the other 50% is when is it more ideal, judging on the external circumstances. So for a lot of people it's just that time when things just fall together. And this two of fire, two of wands, basically two of fire. So for some people this is correlated with a new relationship. For some people, this is the person who they been dreaming of. And when I say dreaming of, it's not daydreaming, neither seeing them in dream, but better said, feeling the presence of a soul in their lives, someone who's meant for them, someone that both they are seeking and that the person is seeking them. But as I say, you know that this is both an illusion, an allure, but you also know that a tiny bit is real of it. And this is when this romantic game that the universe has been playing with your soul intuitively through dreams and synchronicities, and if you do tarot, through tarot, of who this person might be, that the universe has been guiding you to this person maybe for years. And everyone who messages you, a new person or something, you get butterflies in the stomach immediately. Is this him? Is this him? And this is where you're gonna find out, not very late after the eclipse, so very soon after the eclipse, who that soul is. And for some people, this is like an immediate reunion. This is where love at first sight, and you throw in together both of the ace of coins, so probably move in and stuff like that. While for others still, it is a person, but this two of fire means a person who is so passionate about a profession or anything, any skill, anything that you have in your life, just as you, and that makes that person rare. It will be immediate alliance, because one passion knows the other passion. So this is where the handshake will come immediately, and this is more than just a career, job, hobby, whatever. This is where you and that person later on will enter into a community together. So this is very important for both of your futures. And these cards, the Child of Water, the Page of Cups, regardless if this is a friend or a partner, it's a friend. The friendship, the emotional presence is what your soul screams out for. And you will have that best friend in the shape and form of either this lover or this person, associate, boss, whatever quality they will have in your life. And the moon, soul calling. Finally, something that your soul has been waiting for a lot of time completes. And you know that this is not BS, because there are so very many things in your life which played out in the similar way. You waited 10 years for that, whatever it was, the job, the person, the equipment, the car, the house, but it came. You waited a long time, but it came. It always came. And the Three of Fire, celebration, victory, dance, union, completion, wholeness, feeling alive. You're not gonna dance with this person, even though, you should, You're gonna dance with the universe first of all, because you will know that this person is just a projection of the universe. Because maybe in your moments of great loneliness and solitude, you said to the universe, if only you could be real and have the shape and form of a person, and maybe that is what the universe is gonna build